Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Saturday the 19th of October 2019. Thank you for joining me today. It's really nice to be with you. I'm using the Mystical Tarot for your daily tarot reading today. And what I'm going to do is shuffle the cards a bit, and I just set the intention in my mind's eye in the sense that I asked the cards, what is Saturday the 19th going to be about? What is the energy going to be like? What can we do to work with it? How can we succeed on this day? How can we make the most of the day's energy? And that's kind of what I asked the cards, and they then give me an answer. That's why these readings apply to all signs of the zodiac, and therefore everyone who watches. Law of attraction, if you clicked on this video, you clicked on it for a reason. So welcome to the channel, by the way, if you're new. Let's have a look at what today is saying. We've got the Four of Swords. We've got the Star, the Water Bearer, Aquarius. And then we've got the Ace of Cups. Amazing. Aces are always gifts. They're little prezzies from the universe, okay? So you're getting a present today, and you're getting a big present. So first of all, when it comes to communications, let the angels guide you. I love this little this little rope with hooks that they've added. It's like a construction site. I love that they've added that detail, that the angels are kind of blessing the guy, and now the construction is being done to remove all the swords so he can, I don't know, come back to life and go on his journey or whatever. This is the preparation before the storm. It's research before you write your paper. It's getting your cue cards together before you deliver the speech. So when it comes to communication ideas, that is not your strong suit as such, because you are definitely under construction today when it comes to the way you think and the way you feel because of the Star. The Star is all about being really vulnerable and getting real with yourself and saying, do you know what? I always thought of myself as a good person, but am I really? And you look back at your actions and you realize that, well, you stole that car, and then you robbed that person of their life savings. And then there was that year when you pretended to be Francis Bayer and you yachted your way around the world. You may look at those for the first time, I'm not making a joke, to genuinely see that those are the actions of a person who isn't good. And that if you want to hang on to that image of you being good and putting good out there, then maybe don't steal people's identities, maybe don't screw people around, maybe be honest, maybe tell it as it is. The truth? What? Actually tell the truth? Heaven forbid, not the truth. Oh my goodness. So yeah, it's a day where you really are forced to get real with yourself. And a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people, this is interesting because it's like in the 12 steps. In the 12 steps, there's, this is the recovery program for any kind of addiction, like alcohol or a drug addiction or anything like that. And they have a 12-step program. And the fourth step is to take a personal inventory of yourself. And most people run for the hills during this fourth step because it means you have to look at your own behavior. And a lot of people can't face what they've done. And it's not funny, because if you've been drunk and you've run someone over while drunk and you've lost your license and you've done your prison service and you come out and you want to stay sober, you have to face the reality and the guilt that at some point you were irresponsible enough to get into a car drunk and to kill someone. And you have to, and the effect that had on the person who was killed, the effect that had on their families, you have to live with that, you know? And that is something that some people can't come to terms with. And the Ace of Cups is a gift from the universe. It's forgiveness. It's pure love. So if there is something like that that you've never been able to look at before, you're able to forgive yourself. If you've dodged your step 4 for the last half year, do it today. It's the best day to do it. It's to let go of these secrets that keep you sick. To let go of this negativity that you're hanging on to because you think it's the only thing keeping you glued together. It isn't. It is the reason why you're messed up. Let go of all of that. Pour it away and get real with yourself. So some of us, or some of you, are going to be able to accept the microscope on you today and to say, okay, I have to, the focus is clearly on me and I have to look at myself here. I'm focusing on myself. I don't want to look at this. I don't know. And I'm going to overcompensate by taking my frustration and my denial. I'm going to cement my denial by lashing out at other people and blaming other people for my misfortunes and for my suffering. That's often an easy way to turn the focus away from you and onto other people. Well, they treated me badly, that's why I behave the way I do. Or they said I wasn't lovable, that's why 50 years later I'm not lovable. At some point, when the telescope, the universal eye, lands on you, at some point you have to look through that universal lens and say, this is who I really am. So the people who go into denial are going to be annoying and difficult today. They're going to lash out, hurt people, remember? So you're also not very with it in terms of witty comebacks when it comes to argumentative sparring stuff. You're more focused on doing the spiritual work of letting go of negativity and shining your light and getting in line with the Ace of Cups. And you're trying to get back to this place of spiritual truth and connection and happiness and genuine, authentic, truthful living and love and a connection with something bigger and a life where you don't have to look over your shoulder all the time and say, is that horrible deed that I did back in the 90s going to catch up with me today? Is today the day I'm finally going to get caught? The fugitive on the run? So getting into arguments today, not such a good idea because you're not the head of the debating society on this day, okay? You're really not. You don't have a leg to stand on in terms of your research. If people confront you about some of the wrongdoings that you have actually done and you're in denial mode, then it's like, no, I haven't. You're actually a drunk and a horrible school teacher, and how dare you accuse me of this? That's the kind of reaction someone in denial will have. Someone who is genuine, no one likes to be accused. And for someone to say, hey, you actually did this to me, and for someone to say, do you know what I did? And I'm sorry. And I put my hand up and I'm willing to make amends. That happens very rarely, but it does happen in life. And when that happens, that's a coming together of the physical and the spiritual. And that's where they meet, and that's where the white dove of peace is. We wouldn't need peace if there was no such thing as war. So it's a coming back together of this one universal cup of love that is overflowing and where we all stem from. And this dove is putting in balance into the cup, so to speak. It's lowering it down and landing it in the cup. And then it's going to fly off, and we have a beautiful, balanced, immortal, never-ending, overrunning, abundant, endless, infinite source of love and abundance and creativity. But you can only access that when you make things square with yourself, when you square things off with yourself, you know? When you take responsibility and you're not driven or tortured every day by guilt or fear or the fear of being found out. So you have an opportunity to let go of that. Getting into fights and arguments, if you see people doing that, you'll immediately know one of them is in denial, the other one is just reacting. Which, no, that can't be said for every argument, but it can be said for a lot of arguments. For people just not facing the truth or not willing to own up to the truth. Very likely that other people are But don't force the truth out of anyone else. Don't focus on that. If anything, focus on forcing the truth out of yourself, because that's difficult enough. And you're supported by, in that process, you're given the emotional strength to actually go there today by the universe, which is the gift, because you can't go there every day. Because, you know, when you've done something, when you've drunk a bottle of gin, this is me talking. You drink a bottle of gin and you go on Facebook and you suddenly start to, spout these ideas which suddenly seem very interesting and very real to you after the bottle of gin. And then you wake up in the morning and you're like, everything's cool. 1, 2, and then on second 3, it all comes flooding back in. The night on Facebook, everything you said and did, the responses that must be on there, the way people are going to look at you today. And you look at it and it's just a disaster zone. You've left something behind that you can't ignore any longer. And that's why it becomes available to look at, to let go of, and to lighten your load so that you can kind of just live an easier, happier, more joyful life. This is part of making friends with yourself. You got to look at yourself to make friends with yourself, right? I mean, I look at my friends when I'm talking to them. I don't know about you, but you've got to be able to look at yourself if you're your own friend. 4 and what's this? 15, 16, 17 is 21, and 1 is 22. Wow, 22 is the master number of the builder. And if you face yourself, you can really build a wonderful life for yourself that's built on truth and love and the ideals of who you really are and the ideals that you want to continue to embody in the future. Like if your ideals and your values are integrity, honesty, service, those 3 things are what's important to you. Then you cement those down in your business that you launched today or in whatever action you launched today, and you remember that that is your focus. It's not personal, but it's about you trying to use the energy to make things better for other people by looking at yourself and seeing what the problem is there. Because for each person who does that, there are going to be fewer people who react badly and who go into denial. And with there are more people waking up now than ever before. So the more this happens, this kind of thing, the fewer people we have in denial, so the fewer conflicts we have. So if you play that tape forward, you could argue that's how we could achieve peace on earth, ultimately. But 22 is really about building something long-term and solid. It's about building something that allows people a structure, a framework to look at themselves so they can get out of denial and look at their own lives. Maybe you come up with a form or a questionnaire that opens people's eyes magically. I don't know. But that's what this day is about. And you can really build something for yourself. You can leave one of your issues behind totally and completely and overcome it altogether and once and for all. So I've overcome social anxiety. I can really hands up say that. I had crippling social anxiety where I couldn't speak if more than one person was present. I'd get shaky. My voice would actually close. The vocal cords would close and I'd sweat and shake. It would be terrible. I couldn't look anyone in the eye because I was ashamed of myself. I had no self-esteem. I couldn't even look at myself. So how can I look at other people? I'm in recovery. I'm a recovering alcoholic. So the guilt and the shame that comes along with that whole illness is just, once you face up to it, you realize that you can face up to other things. It's not the end of the world, and other people make mistakes too, and on it goes. So it's about not pointing the finger of blame, but for everyone to find themselves and to find a little bit of peace of mind and peace in the world today by focusing on you and yourself and becoming the best you can be and accepting the gift from the universe, rather than throwing this gift away and pointing your finger at other people and saying, you were 5 minutes late. I'm going to get you. You're consistently tardy. We don't like you. You're fired. No, that's not the way for personal growth. So have a lovely, lovely day. If you would like a personal reading with me, then please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to audio reading. In my personal readings, I use the tarot, I use astrology and numerology, so I can answer any questions you have. If you don't have your time of birth, then order a chart rectification with me. That's a process where I can work out your time of birth. If you like the video, please hit subscribe and share the video online if you're feeling super, super generous. Have a fabulous Saturday, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.